Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lattes on My Mind.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Felina. What are we talking about today, Hannah?
We're talking about some winter goddesses?
Gods?
Two of them?
So grab your lattes and join us for the journey. Hannah,
What's up?
how the heck have you been?
Well, it's snowing for the third time.
For the third time. It snowed twice in November.
Yes.
And then it's December 2nd.
Guys, it's December.
Yeah.
It is the last month of 2024.
That's crazy.
That is wild.
Last week, Monday, I was like, Thanksgiving is Thursday. It's literally this week.
And it's past.
It's gone now. I
It's
hope
gone.
you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I hope you had, well, around this time, it'll be
Closer to Christmas.
closer to Christmas. So
Approaching
I hope you're
Christmas.
having fun with those festivities.
Getting those presents wrapped.
Oh, yeah. I just wrapped all of Marshall's presents.
Look at you.
That I have in my possession so far.
They're right over here. We can see them.
Yeah, they're right here. Well, I wrapped them in here so he couldn't see them.
They're brown paper packages.
Brown paper packages
not-
with green Christmas trees and sparkles.
Not tied up with string, but
No. I usually make bows with like my scraps
yeah.
of the like wrapping paper.
You have time. You're ahead of the game. You can
I
always
am ahead
add.
of the game. I am totally ahead of the game. I have ordered all of Marshall's Christmas. I think I'm just waiting on one thing to come in. Well, his stocking stuffers and then one gift to come in.
Technically, I've ordered all of Wes's gifts within budget, but I'm probably going to order him an extra one.
You know what?
And don't tell him.
I told
He doesn't listen to
and he
this.
doesn't listen, so it's
like,
okay.
It's fine.
Neither does Marshall, but I
Right.
already told Marshall. I already told him myself. But it's okay because I said, so I may be a little over budget.
Right.
But I'm under budget on the stockings, so I'm really not that much
There
over
you
budget. He
go.
goes, yeah, I'm over budget too. I said,
It's just hard.
It's
It's hard to meet that exactly.
It is.
And like, well, he's not going to listen to this, but I wanted to like also like get some things he wants and then some things like that I can think of to get him,
like,
you know?
all I've gotten Marshall is things that I like begged him, what do you want for
Right.
Christmas?
Right.
Here's why it's hard. It's hard to shop for men. If you're a man listening to this,
Send us
be
help.
easier on your significant other, okay? Learn from what we're telling you. It's hard to shop for men, especially not all men. Some men are really easy to shop for. Like my brother, Jonathan, shout out, he's easy to shop for.
Right.
Jordan, not as easy, but still somewhat easy. Marshall, dear sweet love of my life, is a very particular man.
Yeah.
And so I can think one of the presents he actually asked me for, I thought about getting him, but it was going to be a different brand.
Ooh.
But I didn't get it for him because I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
what brand he would like, or if
Yeah.
he would, if he.
Does it have to be this brand? There's
Yeah,
something.
like does he have a specific like, oh well, this one's more high quality, so I'm gonna get this one.
Wes is
or
particular about brands and things that he's
Yeah.
looked at, so you can't just.
you can't just get it on
Yeah.
a whim and it be off brand because then they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh cool, and then that's it.
Right.
Like, it's
And
like, what?
that's not the one I wanted.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, there was one thing that granted it was on the TikTok shop, but then I was going to get one off
don't
of
tell him.
Amazon. I saw the idea on the TikTok shop. I
Right.
don't know. I don't trust the TikTok shop to not
I've
scam
never
me.
bought anything off of that. So never.
But it's just like if you men, if you have a significant other or even a mother or a sister and you are particular about your tools or your tumblers or whatever it may
it
be
is
that
that
you're
men get.
or your arts, you're like if you're a crafty person and like your
Games.
art or your games and you're particular about certain brands, make sure that you reiterate throughout the holidays. Man, like for instance, Marshall loves DeWalt. So man, DeWalt, they make such great tools.
Okay.
Or like this brand isn't so bad either, or these controllers are great, or
Right.
these pencils for drawing, they're one.
These
Reiterate
pencils,
it,
man.
Reiterate it for us so that we know. Oh, but he really likes this brand, but this one he's also okay with.
Whereas me and Felina, you could order us like a $2 thing off Etsy, like a sticker, and we'd be like,
And we love
you
it.
screaming.
Yeah.
Like,
Granted, now Marshall likes silly little stickers too, but I don't want to just get you silly little stickers.
right. You can't just get
But,
in that. I mean, it's Wes is like, it just depends on the year. Like sometimes it's like, okay, I know what to get him. And then sometimes I'm like, I have
No
literally
idea.
no idea.
Marshall
No
told
idea.
me, look on Amazon. If you've had your eye on anything, go ahead and buy it. I've saved like $100 because it's Cyber Monday. It's Cyber Monday when we're recording this, guys.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we're off again.
Yeah. He was like, go ahead and order it. And I was like, I've not had my eye on anything. He goes, me neither. I'm like, yeah, I know. Because if you would have had your eye on anything.
Do you guys make lists? Like the Amazon lists?
No, we don't. And I'll tell you why, because this is the thought I also just had.
Oh, okay.
Also, men or women, if you're like this, if you are the type to, if I need something, I'm just going to buy it for myself. As soon as it hits November,
If you're thinking of it.
you're not allowed to buy anything for yourself.
Yeah.
If you want it, you put it on a list and you give it to your loved ones.
Right.
And I will die on that hill. I will.
Die on the hill?
I'll die on that hill.
Well, because it's like, well, okay, I'm kind of bad about that because I can never think of what I want when Christmas comes along.
That's why Katie, my sister, and I started
Way
in
back.
July.
My gosh.
We started a shared
Yeah.
note between me and her. And it's anytime me or my significant other or my mom or anyone that we mutually know and love and care for mentions wanting something, we write it down.
But then, like you said, then you had this idea, and then someone went and bought that idea before.
No, because it's a list. It's like a checklist. So
No, like, I don't want to say it because I don't know if, well, I mean,
right.
you were going to get
So
something for a certain
instance,
someone because
yeah.
they had mentioned it,
Yeah.
and then they went and got it.
Yeah, they're very bad about that, Marshall. Anyways, yes. So if that happens, then I take it off.
Oh, you take it off the list.
Because I know
okay.
if he buys it because he shows it to
So
me.
if someone gets it, they like do the little check.
Yeah.
Check.
And also, if he gets a package, I'm like, ooh, can I open it? Can I open it? Can I open it? He goes, it's car parts. And I'm like, I don't care. It's the serotonin of opening a package. And he's like, okay.
Wes is like, don't touch my packages.
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, there's certain, like,
Yeah.
this time of year, I don't do that. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
he
Obviously,
knows
you
he's
can't.
not allowed to buy for himself this time of year.
Right.
Unless it's something like he needs for a project.
Right. Or you can get clothes or something, and you gotta order something. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Anyways.
Yeah. So it's snowing outside, and speaking of snow,
It is snowing outside. Speaking of snow,
it's
you know
7
what
p.m.
happens?
and it's snowing outside.
Yeah.
And you know who we're talking about? His name is Boreas. I guess.
is-
I don't know if that's how you say it.
Boris?
It's not Boris. It has an E in it. See? Boreas.
Ah, Boreas. Yeah.
Boreas.
Yeah, sure.
I looked it up and someone said Boreas and then someone said Boreas and then someone said and I said what? Sometimes
I
I'm like,
hate it when people
I know.
say it so quickly and you're like, I'm sorry, who?
and then they're like, it's quite simple once you hear it, and I'm like, what? Because it had like there's another name that's like a Gaelic name, and it's like it has like the at the end, and I was like, that's not I can't do that.
I am unable.
That's quite simple. I was like, no, it's not.
No, sir.
Anyways, we're gonna talk about this god, and then we're gonna talk about a goddess of the winter and snow because we are in our winter.
We are in our wintry air. And how appropriate that it just randomly started snowing today.
know. I thought that was weird.
We knew it was cold, but we did not expect snow.
Yes, it's weird.
And yet, here we are.
I feel like I'm bringing up something.
I feel like it's prophetic.
It
I feel
is
like this is
prophetic.
going to be a good episode. The gods blessed us.
The gods have blessed us. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be interesting, but here we go. So we're going with a Greek god, naturally, because I love Greek gods. But it was also a lot harder to find. I thought it would be easy to find like winter gods, and it really wasn't. You would think that.
I think we talked about this a little bit last
Yeah.
episode. We've been having some like bad luck recently with our topics where we're like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And then we get into actually researching and there's like nothing.
I think there's probably millions. And then like the Wikipedia list, because like I looked to see like find a list to go search it, you know?
Right.
And it was like 10. But like some of them like you can't find anything about at all.
Right.
And I was like, I thought there would be lots of gods. But anyway, And this god, he's the god of the north wind, or the cold wind and winter.
The winter is coming.
Yes, specifically the north wind. His name is from Greek Boris, like you said.
Oh, okay.
Which means north. Creative.
So fancy. It's like hell.
Right. They really get creative these days.
They really do.
What should we name him? He's the north wind. North.
North. How about North?
But he has nicknames. 2 nicknames: Frigid Wind.
Oh.
And Devouring One.
That one's more ominous.
Yeah, so wouldn't you love to have those as your nickname?
I would love my nickname to be the Devouring One.
We call you Frigid
Wind.
Frigid Felina.
No, I'm being bullied.
But I think his family is kind of cool because his mom, Eos is her name. She's the goddess of the dawn.
Okay.
So like the morning. And then his dad is a Titan, which I don't know if you know, like Greek, the Titans were like at a group of gods.
Okay.
Like a mount. Which mount was it? Was it Mount Olympus? I think that might be wrong.
Mount Olympus is
They might be demigods.
I thought Titans were demigods.
They might be demigods.
They're like the what are they called? When angels had extracurriculars.
You mean Nephilim?
Yes, they're like the Greek Nephilim.
Okay, there you go.
I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm incorrect.
I obviously, it's been a minute
since you know this information, you can reach us at lattespodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach us on Facebook and Instagram, or comment on any of our videos on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, and Audible.
Yeah, and follow us. Did we say that?
Yeah, follow us, like, subscribe, give us a comment if you know the information.
Yeah, and you guys probably do know about the Titans because, I mean, they're big figures in Greek mythology.
They are.
Whenever I haven't researched it in a while, I kind of get scared.
It's easy to forget. You've taken so much knowledge in a day.
Right. Especially now that we're doing the podcast. There's so much information in my head. But so his mom is goddess of the dawn. His dad, Astraeus?
Maybe that's where he got the
Aeus. Yeah. The Aeus.
Aeus. Maybe.
Excuse me.
She knows what he looks like too.
It sounded bad. But he's the god of the dusk. So you have god of the dawn, god of the dusk, and then his 3 brothers, Zephyrus, Notus, and Eurus, are the west wind, the south wind, and the east
wind
or southeast. Which I was like, hold on, don't be switching.
Why you gotta do that to me?
Don't do southeast. So his whole family is like...
Maybe the south wind brother died, so he had to take over the south and the east.
He's like, I'm the southeast wind. Maybe. That was Notus. Did Notus die? We don't know. But, so they're all the 4 winds, okay?
Okay.
And together they're called the Enemi, the 4 winds.
Oh,
so the brothers. So his whole family is like parts
from dawn to dusk.
And then
the east, north, south, east, west.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? I think that's cool. I was like, that's a pretty cool family. They
stayed on brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, how many sons do we have to have now? Like they had one that were like, oh shoot, we have to have 4. Darn. And then they said of the southeast. I was like, please do not say that.
Yeah, that kind of ruins it.
Throws it off.
Yeah.
It was funny because the first article I read was like, he has 2 brothers, the north and the south winds. And I was like, what happened to the east wind?
Yeah.
And then I was like, where'd that go?
Wait, is he not the north?
He is the north.
So the west and
the west and the south, sorry.
The west and the south.
There was the west and the south, and then I was like reading it and it never mentioned an east. And I was like, what? This can't be real. And then I like read the next article and it was like, and the east. I was like, oh, okay. He does have
another brother.
The completion of it. I couldn't do it. But anyway, so his sort of like what he's known for is he makes trees fall. He blows on the sea like the wind, and he apparently has a really bad temper, which goes with the whole frigid north wind and all that. And so,
he's cold,
right,
and uninviting.
Right, he's boreas.
Ooh.
I wonder if that's like Aurora Borealis. What a bore! And boars.
Borealis, who's that?
Like Aurora Borealis, like the Northern Lights. I wonder. Oh, wait, yeah, that's what it comes from. Boreas, probably because it's northern.
Most likely.
Connection. See, you guys learning
you didn't
something.
Even know. You
I didn't even think of that.
This was going to be so knowledgeable.
I didn't even think of that until just now. So he obviously freezes the land, brings snow. He makes trees fall. He is seen as destructive, but also as like part of the like, I guess like the life-giving, like the natural course of things because he brings snow and rain, so that like apparently like replenishes the earth. So he's seen as both a destructive, but also
destroyer and a
giver of life. I guess I don't know.
Interesting.
And he usually has wings.
Oh, cute.
Which makes sense, I guess, because the wind and stuff like that. He wears a cloak, a billowing cloak, is what I read. So
okay,
representing like the wind blowing in at you. Good, guys. It's 7 p.m. So
it is 7 p.m.
Bear with us. As we always say, I think permanently we're just evening podcast now.
I guess so.
But he carries a conch shell, like one of those big shells.
Is he Poseidon?
And no, I thought that was weird, but apparently he like blows in it to call the winds.
He summons the winds with a shell.
With the shell. I was like, why a shell?
Interesting.
I feel like there could be a better option.
I feel like you give him a whip and he just spins it around.
Yeah, like a tornado or something. Like,
yeah,
that'd be cool, but it's a shell.
Interesting.
I was like, that's weird.
I don't love that.
I don't love that either. And I was like, that's his symbol?
Is a shell.
I don't like it. But
maybe he ended up with a god of the sea.
A god of the sea?
A goddess of the sea.
He did not, because I'm going to tell you about it. But that would be cool. Sorry, now we're British accents.
Sorry.
He does not end up with a goddess of the sea.
Okay.
But he does end up with someone who we'll talk about in just a second.
I'm trying to give stuff away. I'm so sorry.
She always does that.
I'm sorry.
Like, stop guessing.
Pardon.
But he usually has a beard, spiky hair. Okay.
A beard and spiky hair.
Yeah,
and he has wings. Cool. And he blows through a shell.
And he blows through a shell. Okay. In some instances, he is depicted, which I don't understand. I can't even picture what this looks like. Sometimes he has snake tails as his feet. So, like, he has just two little... And I was like, what the?
Do
what
they
is
rattle?
That?
Is it like a rattlesnake?
I hope so, because that's not cool. It's not.
That's weird.
I think in drawings or something, like on pottery or something like that. But I'm like, why would... And what does it have to do with wind?
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? So I don't know why. These things are always random. I'm like, okay, but why?
He sounds made up.
Yes. I mean, well,
if you
believe
not to
in offend.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be made up. He might not. So, you know.
Why does he have... It sounds like when I was in the 5th, maybe the 4th grade, I had to come up with a creature.
We had to do stuff like this.
I did. I had to come up with a creature. And he had a lion's head.
Okay.
And he had butterfly wings.
Yep.
And he had... was it a lion's head?
Kind of like a griffin.
Or was it a lion's mane with the head of a pig?
Oh, ew. Oh.
Or no, it had hooves. It had hooves. Like pig hooves.
This sounds like something from Revelation.
And a snake tail.
Okay.
Yeah. And we had to like come up with a creature.
What was his body?
His body was like lion.
Like lion. Okay. I was like...
But also kind of like a pig. I don't know. I was not a very good artist.
Right. So it was like like a 4-legged animal body with like the hooves, but then it was like...
I think he also had a snake's tongue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Butterfly wings is interesting.
I wanted to make him fly.
You wanted butterfly wings. It wasn't like a griffin, like an eagle wings. It was butterfly wings.
He's a butterfly.
I'm imagining like blue butterfly wings.
I was thinking like pink.
Oh.
I think.
Okay.
He's colored, so I think they're pink.
Okay.
They might be blue.
They might be. I don't know. That's just what I picture when I hear butterfly. It's like blue wings. Monarch. Is that a monarch butterfly?
Monarch butterflies are orange.
Oh,
and black.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think.
Yeah, you're right. They are. What's the blue one? What are those called?
It's a pretty blue
glory.
Butterfly.
Its name is Boreas. I don't know.
Anyway, sorry. It reminded me of that. Like,
it sounds weird. Like you said, it sounds like a kid.
Snake tails for feet. It sounds like a kid. Yeah.
Like
a kid coming up with a character.
I just don't understand what it has to do with the wind. But other things also associated with him are the evergreen, which makes sense to me because north cold.
Yeah.
The evergreen trees.
Evergreens, yeah.
As well as horses.
Horses.
Which is weird. And we'll talk about it a little bit later. I know it said at one point that he like had a chariot that the horses would like pull across the sky.
Okay.
And like the wind, the speed of the wind is like horses, but he does something later on that we'll talk about in just a second.
She's not letting me get any info.
No, because it's coming. Okay.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
Obviously, he lives in the mountains and he guards the north. Blah blah blah. He he monitors the seasons from his like vantage point. So like he makes sure everything's going smoothly. Make sure it's going from one to the other.
Would you say he's like the head brother?
I would assume. He's
in
the
charge.
oldest, right? Because
North. You start with North.
Yeah, and then like
plot twist, he's the youngest.
right. I would be really mad. I don't actually know that. I didn't say, but I would assume it's like north. Maybe it's like north, south,
east, west.
Yeah, or west, east. I don't know. East, west. They seem to like kind of like just like and then there's east.
You would think that it would be like north, east, southwest.
Yeah, like it goes around in a
you
circle.
would think
that would make maybe
sense, but
maybe they're like quadruplets.
Maybe they're all old.
Yeah, maybe they're all the same length.
The same length. Oh my goodness.
Sorry guys, we work today. So anyways, so we're gonna go on to his little love story here.
Ooh,
love story.
Romantic.
Yes, so romantic. So he was in love with this woman, a
female,
a human.
A
female. Well, a human because he's a god.
Yeah.
So remember this.
Yes.
She was the daughter of the king of Athens. Okay.
Naturally.
Her name was Orithyia.
Okay.
Orithyia. Sounds good.
Sure.
She was a princess.
Well, yes, if she's the daughter of the
king.
Right,
of the king. So she's a princess. Bear with me. I gotta remind you guys. Gotta break it down for everyone, Felina. Come on. Anyways, so Boreas, as we call him, asked her father on several instances if he could like marry her, and apparently
and he said no.
Apparently, the king was like kind of making like kind of kept saying he could, but like would never like really actually let
Give
him
the permission. Yeah.
Never carried through with it. So
that's rude. Just say no.
Right. Like if you don't want him, just say no. And apparently Orithyia herself was like kind of like, I don't know about this guy because he's kind of like an imposing god of the north and stuff like that. So she's like, I don't know.
Maybe that's why she was nervous.
Right. She's like, I'm not sure about
said,
this.
He's a god. I don't want that.
So Boreas got tired of waiting. So one day while Orithyia was dancing by this like river, he decided to abduct her. He said, I'm going to take her and
not
just
the kidnapping.
Make her my wife.
Such a love story.
Yes. So
she gets Stockholm syndrome.
I don't know. I mean, apparently it was a very passionate, I heard after the fact, marriage. So I guess maybe she
said,
maybe
might as well make the most of this.
Maybe it won her over. But he like picked her up in the winds. Like used winds to pick her up. And like take her to his, I don't know.
Could you imagine how it's a tornado?
A
princess
tornado.
got swept up in a tornado and they came up with the story.
This sounds made up.
this sounds fiction. This sounds like fiction.
She didn't
fictitious.
Get taken up in a tornado. Yeah. So made her his wife. She had twin boys who had wings. Naturally. And then later they had 2 daughters. And apparently one of the girls had a son with Poseidon. So there's the sea coming in.
there's the sea coming in.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh, she's predicting something.
He made a deal. He said, my firstborn daughter will go to you.
Right. And I don't know which daughter it was. I think it was Chione, and she's the goddess of snow. So they have a goddess of snow.
Oh, no, he's the god of...
He's the god of the north wind / winter / snow.
Makes sense.
So now I don't know if she married Poseidon. I just read that she had a son with him. And you know how they kind of have extracurriculars with...
They just kind of go... They're not faithful.
So I wonder if his kids... I think the 2 sons were not actually like fully gods, which confuses me.
They would be demigods.
But then they were like... It was almost like the boys were human and the girls were gods. And I was like, what? I got confused. I don't know if that's true. That might have just been me misreading something last night.
That's true. How is she the god of winter if she's half human?
The goddess of snow. I don't know.
Snow, yeah.
I'm not really sure. I mean, you can still be she could be a demigod because she is half god.
Yeah.
Goddess.
She is.
I don't know.
Hercules.
Exactly. Hercules is a
demigod. No, he's a god.
I thought.
No, because his dad is...
I thought he was a demigod.
No, because his dad is... What's his face? And his
Zeus?
mom is...
Hera?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, you're right.
So he is a god. But Hercules was after him. No. Hades was
Who was after him?
Hades was after him, so they sent him down to Earth, and then they turned him into a
Right.
human to fit in.
Yeah.
And then,
Or so the Disney movie goes, right?
according to Disney, yes.
It's like I don't know if that's the full Hercules story.
You know, the historical movie creators
Right, the
of
Disney.
Disney.
They're very accurate. Have you seen Pocahontas?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I do like Pocahontas though. So he was somewhat worshipped, which is interesting because sometimes they don't.
They don't
Sometimes
really
they
like him.
So yeah,
Sometimes they're scared.
But like we've learned about the winter gods, I think that they the colder places like to give sacrifices to the winter gods because they want to, prevent a rough winter, that sort of thing.
Naturally, yes.
So there was a cult of Boreas at some time.
A cult?
A cult. I don't know what it
Cute.
included, but like him being worshipped in in Greece included like annual sacrifices.
Oh my gosh.
And then I think it was like animal and food offerings. So like animal sacrifices, and then they would like leave food.
Yeah.
Like they do for. Sometimes they would like cooked food for the gods and stuff like that for if they're hungry. I don't know.
Cookies for Santa.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what we do. Or schnapps for Krampus.
Or schnapps for Krampus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But these people called the Thorians, someone in Greece,
Okay.
they gave him land and a house.
Cute.
So they just dedicated a piece of land and gave him a house, just in case, I guess he wanted to come stay.
Hey, you want to come vacay?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Boreas, come on. There is a possible festival dedicated to Boreas during the Persian War, but we don't really know anything about it. So that's exciting, except that they had banquets in his honor.
Cute.
So they just know that at one time there was apparently a banquet for him, or like a festival of sorts. So they also had these Orphic hymns, they're called. They're Greek hymns
Okay.
that mention the Greek gods. And one of the hymns does mention Boreas. And it says, Boreas, whose wintry blasts, terrific, tear the bosom of the deep surrounding air. Cold icy power, approach, and favoring blow, and thrace a wild desert exposed to snow. I don't know what that means. But I thought the bosom part was funny.
The bosom part's fun. Yeah. What bosom? What?
I don't know.
Okay. So basically, they said it's a bit nipply
He's cold.
out here.
Yeah, he's a bit nippy out here. Boreas, I don't know. It just like it goes through and like mentions all, like different Greek gods, and apparently like verse 79 or something, or like
79?
whichever it was, or
Could
like
you imagine?
him 79. Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh.
Was like to him. I was like, my gosh.
Holy cow.
So let's talk about the horses.
Let's get into it.
This is very Loki-esque. Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
So he's
Does
considered
he have a horse child?
he's considered father of horses, and this is a pretty gross story, but he met some horses that belonged to this king, who apparently had like 3,000 horses.
Was it the same king?
Well, I don't think so. It was a king named I didn't write it down.
Okay,
Something with an
cool.
E. Maybe it was the same. Maybe this is why.
Maybe
this is
that's why
the
he didn't want to give him
this
his
king was
daughter.
like, no, I'm good. Yeah, really. I wouldn't after this.
No.
He sees these horses.
Impregnates these horses.
And he turns into a stallion
Of course he does.
and has some babies with the mares.
Oh my gosh.
12 babies. 12 baby horses.
Huh. Why? He impregnated 12 horses?
Yeah, and
Why?
I don't know.
Was it to be like, because I can?
Because I can.
Or was it because he was like, hey, you're at war, I like you, here, have some pretty
But
sturdy
like,
horses.
why would you as a guy? Well, that would make sense because apparently these horses can run over waves, and apparently when they run over like the crops, they don't like destroy them. So they can like, because they had like the wind, I guess, under their feet or something like that. So they're special horses. So I guess if you wanted horses with special abilities, but you're a god, so like why he just it's
maybe
gross. I don't want to talk about.
Maybe he wanted to have horses
Right.
fit for his children.
Right. But why 12?
In case some of them die.
Okay, some of them. Maybe these horses are immortal. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Well, you can kill anything.
Are they demi horses? Like, does that happen?
Well, they would have to be.
What is it when it's half god, half horse?
It's a demi horse.
A demi horse. We just made up a new
well, did we make up a new, or I mean, clearly it already existed.
Well, clearly it exists.
Not only did he do it, but so did Loki.
Loki also did it, yeah.
And Loki had to remain a horse and give birth.
Yeah, Loki. Well, Loki was the female. Yeah. So he had to give birth. If you guys haven't listened to the Loki episode, go back and listen to that. There's some really weird stuff just like this.
Yes. It's creepy.
Yeah.
Not creepy, but like...
It's weird.
It's a little weird.
Disturbing. I mean...
Who comes up with this? That's what I want to know. Who comes up with it?
I don't know. The gods do some really weird stuff, and I'm like, where did this come from? Who thought of this?
What misconception could this possibly be from?
Did we translate this wrong?
Yeah. I think we might. I think we might need to retranslate that.
We might need to go back. Learn some Greek a little better.
What?
They did what?
He did what now?
They did what?
He turned into a female horse.
Like fairy tales, though. Fairy tales are also weird.
Yeah.
You know, like the Little Mermaid and stuff.
And the Brothers Grimm ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like kind of what they're like. Anyway. Yeah. Some other little things that he did. He helped the Argonauts. I don't know if you've ever heard of Jason and the Argonauts. They're like these heroes that go on a mission to like rescue this golden fleece. Anyway,
cute.
Yeah, he helps them. He sends a wind to rush them past the rocks called the Symplegades, and save them from the rocks because apparently the rocks like crush things that go by. And apparently he like sent a wind and it got them through. And apparently after that, like the rocks stopped clashing together.
Oh.
So he like permanently changed it.
Wow.
So he helped them. So like people like invoke his name like to help, and he does sometimes. Like he deferred. He helped defeat the Persian fleet. Apparently, during the Persian War, he sent a wind and had the fleet destroyed. Now, I think this is interesting because it was something like that. It was like actually a historical event.
Yeah.
And so they were like, when they wrote like, oh, this was because of Boreas, they were like, huh, because they like mixed like the religious aspects of it like with the history.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Here's my question about the
Go
fleece.
ahead. I don't know. The golden fleece? This is we'll do something. We need to do something about the Argonauts at one point.
Who got to wear the fleece?
Probably Jason, because it's called Jason and the Argonauts, which Jason does not seem like a Greek name.
Jason was an imposter.
Jason is just like, what's up, y'all?
Jason said, I want this golden fleece. I'm going to go impersonate a Greek soldier.
I saw this really old movie called Jason and the Argonauts.
And
it like lives deep within my memory. And there's like, I'm trying to remember, like, they go on this like voyage and there's like, I think there might be like sea monsters. And then there might be like, I think they like encounter sirens in it.
Sea what?
Monster, of course.
Sea monsters.
That's exactly what I said. It's just blocks of cheese. Just like, the waves.
I perked up. I said, I'm sorry, what?
What did you say?
I forgot. Man, you said it like that.
I thought of that earlier when we were talking about the show. They were with the monsters in
Monsters.
It. Monster.
Monster.
If you haven't listened to our Loch Ness Monster episode.
Yeah, not the Loch Ness Monster.
You'll see if you go back and listen to that why she said that. Because I cannot say monster.
Hannah says monster.
Yeah.
It's not the only thing she says.
You do
funny.
the monster mash.
Yeah, it's not the monster mash.
Monster.
Mash and some cheese.
That'd be good. Sounds good.
Instead of cutting it.
We haven't had dinner yet either. Have you had
We
dinner?
haven't.
We're going to have pasta.
I kind of want Taco Bell.
Oh, it's snowing though.
Yeah.
Well,
Marshall
I don't know if it's still snowing, but we'll see. Yeah, he has a truck. He's fine.
Yeah, he drives in the snow. It's
He's fine. He's good.
Anyways.
So the last little tale I shall tell you about. I tell you about this guy Boreas. There's a little tale that goes between him and Helios, the god of the sun.
Okay.
So they get in a dispute, as they do, because
as gods do.
Winter and sun.
Yeah, the sun's trying to melt the snow.
Right.
He just brought in.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I feel like the snow, or like the sun would ultimately win. Because of the sun.
Well, not if he's like beating him up with his shell.
I got moved the shell. Boom, 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 boom.
Well, you said he had a shell.
He does.
He has a shell to conjure the winds.
I thought you were gonna say yeah.
So if he's like, he can like move the sun back.
Yeah.
Theoretically speaking.
Well, yeah, true. But in this story,
Okay.
They get a dispute about who can get a man who is traveling to take his clothes off first. So they're trying to like undress this man. I don't know why.
I'm sorry. Hold on. The god
Yeah.
of the sun
Yeah.
and the god of the north winds are trying to get a man to undress.
Yeah. And like
For what purpose?
just to prove
Wow.
who has more control
They must
over.
have been really bored that
Right.
day.
So he tries to win, obviously, by sending like the cold wind and all that and
Why would
blowing
that
on
get
his
someone
stuff.
to take their clothes off?
Because I think he's trying to blow it off of him. But it wouldn't get him to take it off.
No,
because
I mean, if you're fed up enough, if you're like, this isn't working, let me just take this off.
But it's cold. So no, like it results in him like pulling his clothes in like closer, and like he apparently like goes into a cave. So then Helios is like, haha, and makes it warmer gradually. And so the man comes out of the cave and takes off his clothes and gets in the river. So, and so this is obviously like, this is one of the like stories about him,
This
like
is
the fable.
Who's the better god?
Right. So it's this guy playwright named Sophocles, and he tells the story to this other playwright, and it's essentially to illustrate how like kindness always wins over anger. Like that's the like moral of the story.
Where does that come into play now?
It's like a parable. So like if you're harsh with someone, they're not going to listen to you, but if you gently rebuke them or something like that, then they accept it better.
But some may say that it is harsh to heat someone up so much.
So yeah,
that they have
if
to
you
get
burn
in.
them,
That they have to get
gotta
into.
get naked?
They have to get naked and jump into a river.
abuse.
Yeah, that's an abuse of power if I've
I
ever
don't know.
seen one.
Yeah, I guess you just need to be a Greek playwright to understand this.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm not smart enough.
I'm not.
Am
The
I college
philosophers.
educated? Yes. Does this make sense? No.
No.
Well, okay.
Selena will always find a different way.
I get. Hey, now. I get where, it could be seen as harsh with the winds.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it could be harsh with the sun.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a good example.
Either one could kill you
I feel
if
like
it was
it's a
enough.
poorly made example.
It is. Sorry, that's the one they gave me.
Dang.
I don't know what else to do.
Do better, Google.
I'll try to make things up next time. I'll just make it up next time. Here goes the story. He takes his conch shell and hits the sun.
Over the head.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Beira. Beira?
Beira?
Beira. Beira? I looked it up and said Beira. B-E-I-R-A.
B-E-I-R-A. If you know how to pronounce that, hit us up.
Google said Beira.
Beira.
But it also said...
is that what you were looking at?
It said like 3 different pronunciations, and I was like, how do I...
We're going to go with Beira.
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 Just because it's... I don't know, it's Gaelic, so it could literally not sound like that at all. It could literally be like...
So if you're Gaelic...
Shayla or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah.
It's like... Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm not Gaelic. Well, I don't speak the Gaelic language. I'm not Scottish. I'm not Irish.
Yeah.
I am not Gaelic. Anyway, obviously, origins, Scotland, Ireland. So now we're...
Naturally.
in the UK.
We're across the pond.
Yes. Well, Ireland's not UK. Sorry. Didn't mean to... If you're
Yeah,
Irish,
get
I'm sorry.
it right, Hannah.
But that area.
But we have a lot of Australian listeners apparently.
Apparently.
According to an email I got, I have no idea if it was real, but we're pretty up there in our category for Australia.
We might have an Irish listener. I thought we saw an Irish.
I think we did. I know we have a German listener.
Yeah, because I said there's no way an Irish person is listening to this, and then I looked and it said there was like someone in Ireland, and I was like, "What? Is this real?"
I think someone in Canada is listening too.
Oh my gosh!
Shout out to all our homies out of the United States.
Yeah, that are probably shaking their heads at all
and
this.
Shout out to all of our homies in the United States. Shout out to everybody, but mainly Australia, because you guys emailed us.
Yeah. We don't know how, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
Felina said, what?
I know I said, excuse me. Sorry, that was a side note.
It's
I just remembered because we got talking
excited
about across the pond, and
That's okay.
I know they're across.
They're across the pond.
They're across the pond.
Australia's like
down.
Yeah. It's a little further away. A little lower. But still really across the pond.
Australia is where... No, that's New Zealand.
Well, Australia and New Zealand are like right by each other.
Which one? Yeah. New Zealand is the one where they took their prisoners, right? Or is that Australia?
No, that's Australia. That's
Australia is the place where they took their prisoners, which cray.
Yep.
They said, you will die. And they said, want to bet?
Nope. We will become the toughest
colonize.
nation. Yeah. We will make ourselves a great name.
Yeah.
This land.
With these,
I don't know.
These insects that are as big as
Kill
our
us.
head.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. Which is so funny because like New Zealand doesn't like have really like that poisonous stuff. And it's like just like right.
Yeah, because they pushed it all to Australia.
They pushed it all to Australia. They said, oh, nope.
Plot twist. It was actually a government experiment gone wrong, and they said, "Oh no, we got to push.
We should do one on Australia.
We got to put these. We got to put these in Australia because nobody's there."
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Hey, what if we could use these for warfare?" And then they were like, "Send in the prisoners." And then
I mean, even
boom.
like think like kangaroos. Are they in any other like continent?
Africa?
Are they in Africa? I couldn't remember. I'm like, I feel like kangaroos because you always think of.
Are they in Africa?
Australia.
I think they're in Africa.
I don't know. We'll have to
I
look.
could be incorrect.
Guys.
Hey, Australians. Help us out here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
Anyway,
back to Scotland.
Back to Scotland and Ireland and the Isle of Man. Apparently, this is like where I don't know where that is. I don't know if it's off the coast of one of them. Her origin, somewhat unclear.
Okay.
Because she's so old. She's like an older, like...
She a granny.
She is a granny, actually. We're talking about that.
She a granny.
But she's a goddess. She's the queen of winter.
Mm-hmm.
So she influences the weather and all that. She controls storms.
How appropriate.
She can
the queen of winter.
Right.
It's the queen of winter. And then in Narnia.
Yeah. I was thinking of the White Witch.
Yeah.
Because she also... Some people like associate her with a witch figure. But she's not actually a witch.
She's a goddess.
She's a goddess. But she's also she's like the creator god of Scotland.
Oh, okay.
So like she was the one who made Scotland, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But she creates land obviously because she is the creator. She can possibly also shapeshift. We don't know a lot about that.
Most of them can.
Yeah. I mean, if you have that much power,
there's no way you can't harness enough to
right.
turn yourself into a flea.
Yeah, if I want to be a flea, why can't I be a flea?
Yeah.
She's also often tied to death because winter
is associated
as we've talked
with death.
about.
Yeah.
And with the wilderness and winds. So she's got a lot going on.
So she's just kind of a catch-all.
She's the whole package.
Yeah,
she's not just the wind.
She's the whole meal.
Yes, exactly. She's also known by another name, which is the name I said I could not say. It's like Cailleach. One didn't have like the sound on the end and the other did. And so I was like, I don't know how to say this.
I know.
So, because it literally is a Gaelic word. So if any of you speak Gaelic, let me know if you know how to say this.
Reach out to us. Send us a voice memo.
Because I'm sure you know how to say this word because she's like the mother goddess. So I'm sorry.
Or maybe you've never heard of her. So.
Or maybe, yeah. But we're gonna continue to call her Beira because that's just easier.
Beira.
But this is her other name, and it means an old Gaelic, veiled one, and in Irish and Scottish, or in Scottish and Irish Gaelic, it means old woman or hag.
Oh.
So like.
How rude.
Yes. Because she is an old woman. And
she is the creator. Yes, why would you call her a hag?
Because she's an old woman.
But I like veiled one better.
Yeah, the creator, the hag.
Yeah, our creator, you know.
Don't say that. I don't know. The Scottish Irish, they're brave.
They're bold.
They are bold. I don't know. That's what they said. It also means in Irish it can mean like shrill or sharp, which still isn't great.
Our shrill hag
over
here. What?
Very loving, very demure.
Very cutesy.
I don't know. Irish had an extra word, Gaelic Beira, which means shrill or sharp, but it's the same thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway.
Whatever.
Anyway, moving on. Not the greatest connotations for her name is all I'm saying. It's not like, oh, beautiful one or creator. Like, it's old woman. So obviously we talked about
hag.
it's
Hannah.
hag.
It's not just old woman.
Well, it
it's
doesn't have to be hag. It doesn't have to be. It could be old woman.
Hag.
Hag. So the hag that created Scotland, she apparently it's debated whether she created it with a hammer, which I think is interesting because it's very
like Thor.
Yeah, very Thor-like because she also controls storms. Or it's thought that when she was walking over Scotland as she was creating it, she dropped like stones out of her basket, and that's what like created the mountains and the hills and stuff.
Oh, that's cute. I like that better.
Yeah.
Let's go with that one.
We're going with that. So she said, "Oops," and it was like there was some that were like she used stones to make stepping stones, or she accidentally dropped them. I like the accidentally. Like she just like
it's like a oopsie.
Yeah, oopsie. I just made some. I made some hills.
Have
Oops.
fun with those.
Right. Which I think is funny because she's like the creator god, but she's like, oops.
Oops, here you go.
Like that's funny.
I totally meant to do that.
Right. Here's the.
I'm just an old hag. I'm clumsy.
You want to talk about a hag?
Oh.
She has bluish pale skin.
Ew.
She has reddish/rusty teeth.
No.
And wrinkles.
And that's why she's called the hag. It makes
Yep.
sense. It's all coming together.
She has long, crazy white hair, as you would imagine, and one eye in the middle of her forehead.
Sorry. I did not mean to gag.
We were enjoying Bera until...
I liked her. I thought, oh, how cute. Sweet little old lady. Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a cyclops. A cyclops?
Cyclops, yeah, I guess so. But it's used to, like, it represents how she can, like, see beyond the ordinary.
See the future.
Yeah, like, see beyond the world or something like that.
No.
But wouldn't you need two eyes? Like, wouldn't that help you see better?
No, it's the all-seeing eye.
Oh, it's the all... Okay. You're right. But...
So accepting.
Okay. Whatever
sure.
you say, Felina. We make our own lore as we go along.
Yes.
That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
She also, I do like this about her, she protects animals during the cold months of winter.
Aww.
So she like herds deer.
Regular Snow White.
Yeah, she herds deer. She's a patron of wolves. So yeah, exactly. It also said
Who needs a sound effect machine?
We got it. It's like, we should make a soundboard. Just like sit here and like
just play with it.
It's just you going cute, cute, cute. Every time you say something, I just say cute.
It's us going, wow.
If you haven't listened to our alien episode,
you should go listen to it.
I'm just plugging a lot of episodes.
It is my text tone now. Yeah. Anytime I get a text from Hannah, I hear, wow.
It's pretty funny.
It is.
So when I was talking about the shape shifting, it sometimes thought that she could either transform into a wolf or a bird. I don't know why the bird, but very good, very good. Also, when she possibly, it's mostly said she made mountains, but like I mean she changes the land, so she possibly also made one of the locks, like the.
Well, there is a lot of mountains.
I know, and there's lots of locks though too.
Yeah,
but apparently she
only one of the locks, but she's the creator.
It just said, yeah, I know. I thought that was weird. It was like she possibly makes locks, and there's one time that she first like probably sure made a lock, which is she apparently like watches over wells, like that's one of her jobs.
Okay.
And one day she fell asleep while she was supposed to be watching this well, and because she'd had a long day herding deer, you know, she was tired.
Okay.
She was tired.
Okay.
Yeah, as one does, and so the well overflows, and it makes this lock awe is the name of the lock.
Loch Awe,
which is apparently the longest lock in Scotland. I think.
That was a long nap.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
She's just like snoozing, and it makes like not the deepest because we learned about those in the
Loch Ness.
Loch Ness, I think, because is Loch Ness the third deepest in Scotland, something like that.
Maybe I can't remember.
Anyway,
like I said, lots of information.
Right. Obviously, she's also the goddess that all other Scottish gods and goddesses come from because she's the mother god. So we have to remember that.
Oh.
She's the
Okay.
Yeah.
And nobody could get Granny a toothbrush?
No one can.
Okay. You can create everything but a toothbrush?
Yeah, I was going to say, can't she create a toothbrush?
Just pick up a tree.
Now,
I imagine she's big.
Yeah.
She's a god.
I mean, the basket carrying the stones, like.
Right, that's why I'm like, just pick up a tree, have a toothache.
Yeah,
I don't know,
literally.
you know?
Obviously, she changes sizes because, you know, she's also like.
She's a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
You know, she can do that.
There are like other witches that like there are lots of different names that people refer to when talking about her. So some people think that like there are like lots of witches that all went by like the Kaliak name.
Okay.
It was kind of confusing. I was confused. But the most common was Beira. And so sometimes people are like, maybe she's like several different people as one being, but
yeah, like maybe she can like Loki.
Yeah.
How he can multiply.
Yeah, he can multiply, or like maybe she's like reborn, or I don't know. Like they think that she could have been a series of witches, but she's often thought to be a witch, but she's not actually a witch. She's more like in tune to the natural world and has supernatural powers as opposed to like spells and potions. But they do refer to her as a witch quite a lot. And
That's why she's a hag.
Yeah, because she's a hag, but because she carries a staff, which can freeze the ground. So maybe that's why she's considered a witch. I don't know.
Like a wizard.
Like a wizard.
Like Gandalf.
Right, exactly. She's a witch. She's a
when he like,
you shall not pass.
Yeah.
Flame of voodoo. Sorry, I'm about to start quoting Lord of the Rings.
And now we're just gonna be here for 3 hours.
I'll start it. I'll start the music and everything. Now, the reason why she's depicted as a crone is because elders.
Wait, a crone?
A crone or an old woman or a hag.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what crone meant.
An old
Sorry.
woman.
I was like, huh?
Sorry, that's just what I had in my notes. Because she's wise, because elders in Gaelic culture are looked upon with honor. So like to them,
Respect your elders.
yeah, it wasn't a bad thing that they called her a hag, I guess.
Wow. That's so disrespectful.
I know. Because some people think she's a triple goddess, which I did not know what this was.
Whoa, what? Hold on.
I know.
You can be a double
You
goddess?
could be, well, think about it. It's just like the Trinity. Like the God, Son, and Holy Spirit.
So they think she is goddess, woman, and daughter.
Yeah, kind of. Pretty much she's tied to the stages of a woman's life. So it's maiden, mother, crone. Which,
okay,
if you've watched Agatha all along, not to have spoilers,
not.
they sing that in the song, maiden, mother, crone.
Cute.
Interesting. So I don't know. It like represents different cycles of life, like
Yeah.
the youth and then the motherhood and then old age and all that and
Yeah,
stuff.
she's for everyone.
So they think she's a triple goddess. I don't know.
Wow.
It's very interesting. And I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, that's kind of
So
like.
if she created all the gods and goddesses,
Yeah.
what created her?
It's always the question you go back to with God, I guess.
Who came first?
Who came first? Some people think she has origins in like Spain and India, but then still, where does she come from? Like she was like modeled after the goddess Kali in Indian culture. Mm-hmm. They think maybe because she's a creator god as well. I think creator goddess.
Maybe she's the same.
Exactly. And she goes to different cultures. That's the thing. Is like, what if she? Yeah. But then still, again, how did she get created? That's the real question.
She just came to be.
She just exactly.
The Big Bang.
The Big Bang. She said, boop. So there was some confusion about her role during spring. Now, there's one story that goes during spring, and I don't know if this is like the first time she like grows old. I was a little confused because they acted like it happened every spring, and then that some were like this happened at one point.
Okay.
So I'm a little confused, but during spring she would partake from the well of youth. Okay, so she was a beautiful young woman.
Yeah,
she was like a beautiful queen.
She said, "I don't want to be a hag."
Right. She was
a queen.
Yeah, she's the queen of winter. Mother, God,
queen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't know. It said queen. I don't know. She's a goddess. She can be whatever she wants, I guess.
Yeah, give her whatever title.
But fall came along, and her hair grew darker, changed color.
Yeah, as it does.
Yeah, and her eyebrows, she had wood eyebrows, like wood.
Oh.
Just like grew in her. I don't know. So she
the
became
latest fashion trend.
Yes, exactly. She started becoming like a tree almost. I don't know. So she was mad about this, and so this is when she like sent ice everywhere and like froze things. So it's kind of like Elsa go crazy, and she winter wastelands the place. Okay. And
she's throwing a hissy fit.
Right.
She said, "Who messed up my eyebrows?"
Right. So now that it's winter, the wells go away. I guess they freeze up or whatever. So she turns to old age because she's not drinking from the well. Now, like I said, it's unsure whether she does this every spring
Or just
like this happened at one point and then
and that's how she
winter.
became. Yeah.
Yeah. How she became winter. Because
I like it better if it happens every spring.
Yeah.
She's just constantly
yeah.
going through.
Like as she gets old, winter comes along.
Yeah.
Because then we don't have to imagine her as the one-eyed hag.
Yeah. Precisely.
Right. Now some people like think, okay, when she drinks from it and she becomes during spring, she becomes the goddess of spring. But there's a different goddess of spring called Brigid or Brigid. I don't know how to say it. Some people believe they're the same person, but others don't. Like when she dies or when she becomes young, it's then spring and then she goes old again. But like they're like, we don't think so because like there's an actual goddess of spring.
Yeah, but how do you know it's not the same one?
Right.
You don't.
She could just be Brigid. Because think Brigid, Beira. She just changes.
Bridget sounds like Bridget.
Yeah, it does sound like Bridget.
And I thought you said that at first.
I
said, what a weird name for a goddess.
Bridget. It's probably like completely different. It just looks like Bridget, so I said it that way. And other people say that at the end of her season, instead of like turning into the young woman, she turns into stone until the next summer. So she's like
reborn.
Yeah. Now, there are some locations in Scotland associated with her, such as Corryvreckan, which is a fun name.
Corryvreckan.
It's a whirlpool, and it's apparently the third largest whirlpool in the world.
Wait, whirlpools like are real?
Yeah.
Like they happen?
They actually happen.
Like.
I mean, this is what that says. It's a whirlpool. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I have never seen one.
How are they fast or is it really slow?
I think they're fast because you don't want to get caught in that.
No.
I don't know. We'll have to look it up. Do you guys know about whirlpools?
Hey, Ireland.
Tell us about this whirlpool.
Yeah.
But the story goes, she has like a plaid dress that she like washes in Corryvreckan or however you say it. Mm-hmm. And because it's like so forceful, it like turns her dress white. And so then that's the thing.
It strips all the color off.
Yeah. It strips all the plaid off. And so then the white dress turns into like a white blanket of snow and like covers the land. So like, so like every fall or whatever she goes to wash her dress and then it becomes winter.
She only washes it in the fall?
Only washes it then.
Cute.
She's like, this plaid's looking a little...
Smells delish.
This plaid is looking a little bit more like gingham. I don't know. I don't know whatever it is. I don't know.
Gingham is the squares.
Yeah.
Plaid is like the overlapping squares.
Yeah, like the lines.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of something that would be more blocky. I don't know. Anyway, so that's one of the stories. Another story, and we're coming to almost the end. Sorry. So obviously, because this is going to be a full circle moment, Felina, so bear with me.
Oh boy. I'm ready.
So when the farmers finish up their harvest,
okay,
obviously the last grain is dedicated to her because we're about to go into the winter months. We need her to look after the grain. Like this is our only food supply. So they dedicate it to her.
No wonder mad at us.
Right. And when, well, I'm not to the full circle moment yet, but I will be leading up to it in just a little bit.
Wow, way to lead me on.
I know, I'm sorry. So whichever farmer finishes his field first, like harvesting it, he makes this like little doll-like thing out of corn.
Ew.
And he tosses it into like the farmer's field next to him. And then that guy does the same until the last person has to keep the doll during the winter, and they name it the like Kaliach or whatever, like it represents her, and they have to like take care of it during the winter, and no one wants to do this. And I because it's like you're housing her essentially.
Why do they do it if no one wants to do it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess someone has to take care of her so that she she's pleased with them. Yeah. I don't know why, but I guess they think it's like a way to protect their crops, and apparently they like are pretty competitive about it. Or they were. I don't know if they still do this, obviously.
They're like, we don't want to starve.
Right. So on February 1st, a legend goes that that was just like, that's about the grain and the harvest.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's not really a backstory, so I'm sorry. I've kind of lied to you. I
Wow.
just realized. I thought this was leading up to this fact, but we have one more first, so bear with me. People hope that it's actually bad weather on February 1st, because if February 1st is bright and sunny, it means that Beira is waking up and is out of wood for the winter. So she goes out and makes it sunny so she can search all day for all the wood that she'll need for the rest of her winter months. So she's like, oh, it's going to be bad. It's still going to have.
You need more wood, so it's sunny.
Yeah, you're going to have more actually winter months coming along. If it's like bad weather outside, it means she's still sleeping, and it means that spring is going to come faster because she's fallen asleep and she's not paying attention.
So it's like their groundhog.
Yes, it's like their Groundhog Day.
That's so fun.
I know. I thought that was funny. I was like, this is literally like Groundhog Day. Now, the last thing I was going to say, which is the full circle moment.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm actually ready now.
So apparently, Beira, when she first appears to bring the snow, she appears on Samhain, Halloween, the Irish festival that we talked about before. She appears on Samhain.
What?
On her wolf, flying through the sky. And so she comes down and touches her staff to the ground and freezes it for winter. Because remember when we talked about how they were ushering in the winter months and like sacrificing things? That's probably who they were sacrificing it to. And but it never mentioned her.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know that for sure, but because it didn't say that, but
I would venture to say that is what was happening.
Right. But like I was like, she was not mentioned when I was actually doing things about Samhain. And so I was like, what? So apparently they think she reigns from like rains the winter from
October
Samhain or
31st.
Not Samhain, but Samhain to that spring like day or whatever, May Day or something.
Oh,
like that. Cool. So yeah, and I was like sitting here reading, and then at the end it was like she comes out and touches her staff, and during.
I know you said Samhain, and I was like, wait, which one was that? There's so many.
Yes, the Irish festival. So yeah, it makes it winter.
Wow.
Because her staff freezes the ground.
That is full circle.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I have for you today.
They didn't say anything about it.
I don't know. I was like, what? She's the one that they're. She's probably the one that they're worshiping. Yeah. Because there was like the fire thing they did. Mm-hmm. And like. And because they thought that the veil got thin, and that would make sense if she's coming down and she's also associated with death as well.
I forgot she was associated with death.
Yeah, which would make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes even more
circle. Sense. I know. I'm like, what?
So basically, we just did a Halloween part 2.
Yeah, on accident.
Just kidding.
Well, because I was like, that makes so much more sense because she's so old that they're like, they're not really quite sure.
Are you even alive still?
Right. And she brings the winter, and that's like what Samhain was all about.
Yeah.
Where, like they were ending the harvest.
In the winter, yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I was thinking I think the grain was like tied to her because I was like, oh yeah. They're farming and they're like, sacrificing the last of the grain to her.
Yeah.
Which makes total sense.
That was so fun.
It is fun.
I love it when things come full circle.
I know.
Like when I talked about Hell and Krampus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and when I was researching too, the girl Skadi, however you say it, in the Loki one, also came back up. Like she's apparently a goddess of snow, and she's the one who like Loki made laugh when he tied himself to the goat. Remember that story?
No, I don't remember.
He tied his testicles to the goat.
Oh.
They played tug of war, remember?
I totally blocked that from my memory.
Yeah, she's not happy I brought it back up.
Why would you do this to me, Hannah?
I'm sorry.
I can't ever look at Tom Hiddleston the same way.
He didn't do it.
He's Loki.
It was a different Loki. It was the red-haired Loki.
Whatever. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he has red hair and red beard. Yes. That's so weird.
No.
Sorry, guys. We're just going on.
That just doesn't work for me.
This just will not be acceptable.
I can't accept that.
This is not Loki.
Not my Loki.
No, I refuse. Not my Loki.
No. Anyways, we hope you've enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been fun. Sorry if I seem disinterested. I'm not disinterested. I'm just tired because, like we said, we worked.
You didn't seem disinterested.
Good.
For most of it.
I still want to know who got to wear the gold cloak.
The gold fleece?
The gold fleece.
Well, Jason gets it for some reason.
But is he getting it for a lover or a mother or
a lover, a mother, a brother,
you never know.
Why? Well, and the whirlpool thing. Why does Jason? Why does Jason?
Oh, now we're looking it up. I need to know. Why were they looking for the gold fleece? And is the gold fleece real or is it fake? Is it made of real gold? And if so, that sounds really heavy.
The fleece is a symbol of authority and kingship. In the historical account, well, the hero Jason and his crew of Argonauts set out on a quest for the fleece by order of King Peleus.
So he was getting it for the king.
In order to place Jason rightfully on the throne of Iolcus and Thessaly.
So he needed it so Jason did get to wear it. That's less interesting.
Oh, well, you can do an episode on that and learn all about it, Felina.
No, it's okay.
Jason and the Argonauts.
I just learned what I needed to know.
Oh, that's all you want to know? You don't want to know more?
I know who got
you
to
sure?
wear the fleece.
I'm sure I could tell you more.
Why were they looking for the fleece?
I'm sure I could tell you some fun names. Nope.
My mushroom on my head fell off. Anyways, okay, so if you have any other information for us, or just want to hang out and chat, or want to have a topic you think we would be interested in, you can reach us at lattespodcast@gmail.com or on Facebook and Instagram under Lattes on My Mind, or you can comment on any of our posts on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Amazon, and Audible.
Yeah. And if you know about those whirlpools,
if
if you've ever seen a whirlpool,
if you have the gold fleece,
don't wash it in the whirlpool because that'd take the gold away.
It would.
Yeah.
It'll take the color right out of that.
Yeah.
You'll have nothing left.
It's just wool.
Maybe that.
Maybe nothing. Jason's not gonna wear nothing.
No, he's gonna be naked.
Just like that guy.
We can't.
That was in the cave.
Yes. Yeah.
Blow the clothes right off him.